makeup-free face. As you can see, I am just about to get ready to go to work, and so I thought I would make a quick video while I was getting ready. Basically, this is going to cover all of my some of my very, very favorite tips for makeup application that may not be as commonly known as some and may not be something that everyone does, but in my case, it's something that is absolutely necessary and something I do on every single one of my clients. So I'm going to tell you why it works for me, and it's just an example of something that you can do to sort of maybe change up your makeup routine and make it work even better for you. This is something, like I said, I do on every single client because it tends to be universally always something that works. I also wanted to say I have been using a new shampoo and conditioner for the past like 3 weeks. It's the Strivectin Hair Color Care Conditioner. I'm going to do a full blog entry on this. This stuff is the best shampoo and conditioner I've ever used. I feel like my hair feels better than it's ever felt in my entire life, so I definitely want to do a review on this. Probably not a video review, I'll probably just do a blog review, and I may just link it here when it's up. So check back here every so often at the info box and see if it's there. Okay, so as I said, this is my completely makeup-free face. I have moisturizer on and that's it. The first tip I wanted to share with you is something a lot of people don't realize about matte foundations. Matte foundations can tend to look very chalky, and I like to wear them because of the coverage and I really like the finish, but unfortunately, especially on maturing skin, it does tend to look a little chalky over the course of the day, even with the best quality matte foundations. So something that I've done fairly recently that really works out well for me is to apply a radiance boosting primer underneath a matte foundation. This doesn't make your foundation have a dewy finish. It makes it have more of a satiny finish, but when you use this beneath a matte foundation, I feel like it just makes the foundation look better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This is the Clarins Radiance Boosting Primer. And it adds a little bit of kind of a pinky glow to the skin, and it's a moisturizer also. So I really like this one, but every single company has one of these. Clinique has one, Lauder has one, Lancome has one. It's kind of something you'll see in a lot of different companies, but it works really well beneath a matte foundation. And the matte foundation that I'm using today is going to be the China Doll foundation from Napoleon Purtis. It's one that I definitely will probably try to find in the future. It's my favorite matte foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on now. And you may or may not see the actual close-up results in this video because it may not be completely apparent, but I can guarantee you this is something that works beautifully underneath all matte foundations, especially on maturing skin. It'll just make it blend more easily. And I'm just using my fingers to apply it. I feel like that a matte foundation for me always applies best with my fingers. And as you can see, my skin is already completely, pretty much flawless. It covers everything. But because I have that radiance boosting primer underneath, I don't feel like that the finish looks chalky. It looks more like a satin finish. And there are satin finish foundations, but I don't feel like they cover as well as a matte foundation does. So this is sort of the best of both worlds. And something I do with every single client is I use a highlighting concealer. I don't use a cakey concealer. I don't use a really high coverage concealer, typically because I feel like that it gives a little too much of a chalky appearance, and that's pretty much universal to almost every brand. But a highlighting concealer, this is the one from Clarins. It's the Instant Light Brush On Perfector. There's also the BB Glow from Estee Lauder that's amazing. I use this under my eyes instead of a regular concealer, like a thick concealer, and I use it just at the inner corner. But the secret to using one of these in a really, really good way is to carry it out at the corners of your eyes in a line. This is going to automatically lift the outer corners of the eyes, and because of the consistency of this concealer, it's not going to settle into fine lines. This is just one of the best products for this purpose. But it lifts the outer corners of the eyes, especially where you may start to get a little bit of dragging down over time. So you can already see how much that brightens up under the eyes. And this is the shade 1. It has a really nice kind of peachy color to it, so it counteracts blue really well. Another little trick with these types of products is right here. over the Cupid's bow. It won't be obvious until you're in the light, but you'll have a little definition here. So that's my trick for concealer. And then I'll just go ahead and apply the rest of my face makeup. Trick number 3. If you take a loose powder or any kind of setting powder and you want to set your concealer and foundation, but you notice that it makes your skin look a little bit dry, press your hands over the powder. You'll still have your set from the powder, but it will bring the finish back to your foundation. One of my favorite tips. I'm moving on to brows, and now all I'm going to do is just fill my brows with my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, as I always do. So that's my typical daytime eye. And then I'll put my blush on. I'm using the cream blush from Clarins, but sometimes I use the Tarina Tarantino blush that I have left over because I really like it. And when I apply cream blush or powder blush, I always do downward strokes. That's not really one of the tips I was going to include in this video, but it is one that's noteworthy regardless. Downward strokes tends to just blend it into your skin a little better, but just short downward strokes. We're not trying to drag at the skin here. And I never apply blush past this point because that can tend to look a little more like you're flushed or drinking. I think I've said that before in a video. And then I just move on to lipstick. Now this is my chief tip. This is the tip of the day. I actually do this with every single client and everybody is amazed by it, and it's not something that I feel like is that amazing. I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, but I recently saw, or not recently, but I've seen videos from Lisa Eldridge, where she had a guest makeup artist who said the same thing, and I was like, I knew it. I've always known that. But if you apply your lip liner first, you tend to line your lips too far inside your natural lip line. The reason that you don't apply lip liner first is not only because you tend to line a little too thin, but sometimes the line can look a little harsh. So this is my trick when it comes to lips, and I feel like that this is something that, again, works with everyone, regardless of race or age. Put on your lipstick, smear it straight from the tube. You can use a brush if you're really into precision, but for this trick particularly, this works better. Apply your lipstick straight from the tube. This is the best red ever. As many reds as I love and as many retro reds as I love, this is F-Bomb by Urban Decay, and it's by far my favorite. The color is so saturated and so long lasting. Okay. After you apply it straight from the tube, do this. Do it until you feel like it's completely blotted and absorbed into your lips. And then you can blot your lips if you want. But something you'll notice when you do that, your lipstick, when you do that, will naturally settle into your natural lip line. It's not the lip line you think is there. It's the one that's your actual lip line. When you press your lips together, it carries the color into your natural lip line. And your natural lip line tends to be much fuller than where you would fill it with lip liner. So that's my little trick that absolutely I love and that I use with everybody. But your lips will look fuller if you do it this way. And I'm not saying that all the people who say you should line first and you should use a lip brush and all that, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that for the clients that I have, helped out with this particular tip, they always seem to love it. And I think it's just because most people feel like their lips are thinner than they are. So it's something that really helps with that. But after you have done that, you can then go in and perfect the line with your lip liner, but you'll actually be perfecting it at your natural lip line and not too soon. And that's my tip for lips. And something else that doesn't really apply to this today, but if you use a nude lipstick and you decide you want to line your lips, you can line your lips first in that case. You can actually line your lips first with most colors of lipstick with a nude lipstick. With a nude lip liner. Kevin Aucoin always did that in his books, and it actually does work pretty well for most colors. But my favorite thing to do for nude lips is to go ahead and do exactly the same process with your favorite nude lipstick, and then take a slightly darker, not a lot darker. We're not talking dark liner, we're talking slightly darker nude lip liner, and line just the Cupid's bow and underneath. And this gives it sort of a three-dimensional effect, and it will highlight your Cupid's bow even more and make it more prominent, and it will just make your lips naturally look thicker even with a nude lip liner on. So that is a tip for nude lips. Other than that, I do tend to take a little flesh colored pencil like this one and do just a little touch up right here, because I've got some natural darkness around my lips. And you can use this anywhere you need to. This is a great little thing to have. This one's by Studio Gear, but they come from all different brands. I think Smashbox has one and NYX has one. It's just kind of a nude lip liner. And then you can use this on your brows as well. And then in addition to that, I sometimes will take a gloss and put it just in the center of the bottom lip. That's typically the only place I put gloss anywhere, because I feel like if I put gloss all over, it's just too much and my lipstick will bleed. But if you put gloss just in the center of the bottom lip, it tends to make your lips look fuller and you have a bit of a pout. So those are my favorite tricks, and I do those, like I said, with everyone, and I feel like that they are so forgiving with everybody. Not everyone will agree with the lipstick thing, but that's why it's subjective. That's why it's something you should try and see if you love it too. Those are my favorite makeup tips. Hopefully those were helpful to you. My light just got brighter. I'm not sure why. But anyway, hopefully those are helpful for you, and hopefully you get some use out of those. And make sure to check my blog back for a review of this amazing shampoo and conditioner. I've used a lot of shampoos and conditioners, and this one is my favorite, and I'm very sad that it's 25 bucks a bottle. Not for this size, for the regular size. This is sample size. But it might be worth it. I don't know. I think my hair looks really bouncy and shiny. So anyway, alright, that's it for this video. I've got more stuff coming up, clothing reviews, hair color videos. Like I said in my last couple of videos, I was telling you what's coming up. That stuff is still all coming up, but this was just something I decided to do on the fly, and hopefully you enjoy it.